We're going to talk about pests now in grain crops. One we talked a lot about over the last year or so, but not too much lately. Authorities are keeping an eye on Russian wheat aphid, the crop-destroying pest that entered Australia last year. I spoke to Rosa, Victoria's Chief Plant Health Officer, earlier, who explains the pest and where things are up to with trying to control it.
It's a tiny little aphid. It's only about 2 millimetres long. It's pale yellowish green in colour, fine little waxy coating, and it attacks all cereal crops, including wheat, barley, oats and rice. And it's really critical for growers, particularly in the first 6 weeks of growing their crops, to keep an eye out on whether they're seeing any damage to their crops. And so in terms of damage, you see symptoms such as a loss of green coloration across their crops, and on closer inspection they might actually see stunted plant growth and loss of vigour. So it's a real production problem, Russian wheat aphid, and it's very important to detect it during the initial stages of a crop's growth.
How much damage can it do to crops?
If it goes undetected during that early stage of development, well, you won't end up getting a crop. It is serious, so it's important that growers have an integrated pest management program in place that will be able to deal with this additional aphid as part of their normal treatment regime.
And as far as the impacts that we've seen in Victoria, I suppose with only one season under our belt here of having the pest, what have you seen as far as its impact on Victorian crops so far?
We haven't had a significant impact because growers have been pretty good, very vigilant about looking for symptoms and reporting anything exotic or unusual to agronomists directly or to our office in Horsham. So we've actually been pretty fortunate. We've been on the front foot, and that's been possible because we have a great surveillance system in place called CropSafe.
As far as how Russian wheat aphid rates with other pests that you're finding in crops, not only this season but regularly across Victoria, where does it sit in terms of the nasties that can affect crop production?
I think that it's probably not that high at all because we can manage it. It's now a known quantity. There are plenty of other pests and diseases, exotic ones, that are on our top 10 list that aren't here, and I'd be far more concerned about some of those. So the fact that we know it's here, what it looks like and how to manage it makes it much easier for us to deal with. So I would say currently it would be on the low side because we're very well aware of it.
That's Rosa, who is Victoria's Acting Chief Plant Health Officer.